Nobody indeed. What is good? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We got a fantastic show lined up for you today. And look at these studs we've got here. Big Brad Betts. How's your weekend, buddy?
Yeah, no, the weekend could have been better from the betting standpoint. There's a lot going on in this world, a lot of movement continuing. We're in this third round now of the FIFA Club World Cup today. So that ending stretch before knockouts, excited to talk footy.
Me too, man. Me too. Big Greg, how we doing out there? Beautiful golf course there behind you and a mountain.
Yeah, not so pretty if you're Tommy Fleetwood, but yeah, it was another really good weekend. Went 9-0 for VIP this weekend, 5-0 for the World Series to finish it off. And yeah, it was a really strong college baseball year. Sad to see it over, but hey, we got 9 weeks till college football, so we don't have a whole lot of time to despair over this one. But yeah, another great season. It's been a lot of fun with you and everybody on the team over here with DTL. So look forward to the other sports that are out there. But congrats to LSU and another really, really great college baseball year.
Yeah, it was, man. And let me say, man, on behalf of everybody, dude, thank you for coming on all the time throughout the season. And obviously, I mean, you cover more than just college baseball, but you're an expert. You're one of the best in the world at it, man. And I know that I have profited from you big time. I know that everyone in the crew has. So on behalf of everybody, seriously, man, thank you. And same thing to you, Brad. Like, honestly, man, like, I cannot thank you guys enough, man, because, dude, the information that you guys provide and just how lovely you two are. You know, you just make it, man, just the absolute best. All right, so let me say this. Oh, you're talking about Fleetwood, Tommy Fleetwood, right? So my dad sent me a text yesterday randomly. All right, I guess it was like after that putt. And all the text said, I hadn't talked to him all day. All the text said was Fleetwood is effing killing me. And I didn't know, like, I hadn't seen it, you know, because I was stuck, like, you know, in between baseball and getting ready for the NBA game. And I was like, the hell is he? At first, I thought he meant like a Fleetwood, like a Cadillac, like the car. I was like, did he buy a 96 Fleetwood Cadillac? What the hell is he talking about? And then I was like, oh, yeah. And then I looked and I was like, oh, my God, poor guy. Oh, man. Let's see right here. Hey, bestie, have a good day. Play some kick-ass bets today. Chelsea. So good to see you. I hope you are doing well. Chelsea's awesome. Chelsea and Zach, just the best. All right. Let's get into today. But first off, as always, before we look forward, we have to look back and look at that. LSU Coastal got him. Christian Yelich. This dude is on an absolute friggin' tear. He is hitting everything moving. We'll get that one at plus 130. TJ McConnell over 9.5 points. Got that one. Jalen Williams over 1.5 threes plus 100. Got that one. Cross-sport championship parlay. Thunder money line. Got it. LSU money line. Got it. Plus 145. And we also hit Saya Suzuki home run plus 225. He actually hit 2 home runs yesterday. Suzuki was all over it. So there you go. That's a solid damn championship Sunday right there. That's how we do it. And that's how we end the college baseball season. Solid, man. Absolutely solid. Okay. Now, no Howie Schwab group play of the day. Today, I'm working on trying a couple new things for it that I think you'll enjoy. So, yeah, apologies on that one. If you could, hit the like button. If you're watching on your phone, grab the screen, just pull it down, hit like, pop it back up. I won't ask you for anything else, but I will ask you for that. It's absolutely important, especially at the beginning of the show. And, yeah, drop in the chat comments, thoughts. If I look like an idiot, feel free to say that. Say, hey, you know what? This guy, he looks like he is an unclean, unkempt boy. Feel free to say that, whatever you want. Let's get into it here, man. Okay, let's hit our picks here. Brad, did you get a haircut?
You know, I trimmed my hair myself this weekend in a bit of frustration. I didn't want to actually get a haircut appointment, so I was just trying to make it through to the next appointment.
Well, let me say this. I didn't know that, but I could just tell from the hair. I was like, man, it looks good.
It looks a little off, right? Yeah.
No, I think it looks good. You did that yourself?
Yeah, just standing there in front of the mirror.
You know what's funny? A friend of mine, he was in the Army, and he taught himself how to cut his hair. And he has hair like you. Like, it's not like, hey, I taught myself to cut my hair. Well, what's that? You just shave it? Like, okay, all right, let's go easy on the barber school impersonation. But no, you did a good job. And he taught himself how to do it too. And it's crazy to watch. But yeah, dude, well done. Well done. Matty boy, AB only gives himself a haircut to exercise gambling demons. That's an absolute fact. What was it, 2-3 years ago? Shaved my head on the during the show. All right, shaved my head. We let me explain real quick. We hit a betting streak. I don't think I hit a bet for 2 weeks. I mean, just X. This was back at CBS. I mean, this was Sportsline, Early Edge. I mean, this had to be 3 years ago, maybe. And I mean, it was just like, dude, couldn't hit a bet. I could. You could have given me a -600 and I would have missed it. Like, I just couldn't do it. So anyways, I was like, all right, the only way. And I consulted a former MLB player and I said, look, you know me, we're superstitious as it gets, stepping on the line. All right, all of it. But I need a slump buster and not Mark Gray style. All right, because this has to be on air. He said, what you do, shave your head, okay, as terrible as possible. Just hack it up, all right, then 2 shots of Jack. There you go. And you know what? It worked. Absolutely worked. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get in our picks for today. Hopefully, we don't have to resort to that anymore. Bradley, start us off, buddy. What you got?
Yes, sir. We're headed to that Norwegian First Division, which is the second flight of Norwegian football. We've talked about this league before in a matchup between Mjøndalen taking on, Skaith. That D is a TH. So Skaith. Mjøndalen, they've come in scoring 17 of the last 21, but specifically 2+ in 6 of the last 13 when they're at home, and 2+ in 4 of the last 5 versus Skaith. So they're regularly scoring specifically when they're at home and against Skaith. They've conceded now in 10 of the last 11 and 17 of the last 18 overall. They're conceding multiple as well, but they're really trending in that total goal conceded market. 22 goals conceded in the last 7 matches. That is above 3 per match. Very important when you're looking at this total. Both teams have scored 14 of 18, over 2.5, and 15 of 21. These are great, solid totals. And they're actually trending that over 3.5. And 12 of the last 12 that hit the over 2.5. So when they hit those goals, they tend to shoot that over, just like the team on the away end. Skaith scored in 10 of 11, 14 of the last 15. They've conceded now in 11 of 11. So we have one team conceding in 10 of 11, one team conceding in 11-11, both teams to score in 10 of their 11 league matches. Both teams trending that over 2.5 goals, around 75%, and they have hit that over 3.5 as well. So we're taking that over 2.75 in the Asian total. 3 goals gives us a half cash. 4 goals gives us a full cash, and that is the Norwegian First Division, Norway 1, which is the second flight of Norwegian football.
Well done. Now, I can't pronounce any of these names. Okay, hold on. All right. That letter after J, I don't even know what that is. Mjøndalen? How do you pronounce these again? Say it again.
It's a good question. So you got that J, and it makes like an IR. So like Earl. So it's like Mjøndalen. But you can kind of say it in English as like Mjøndalen, but it's kind of an urn, like a Mjøndalen.
An urn. Paul Bearer. There we go.
And Skaith is a actual translation to spoon in Norwegian to English.
Nice. Good way to sleep.
Not sure why they named them the spoons, but here we are.
You know what? That's what I love about soccer is that you have all kinds. Dude, there's so many like the young boys. Oh my God.
I mean, young boys has got to be the worst. You got over in Bolivia, you have Team Always Ready. Team
Always Ready. That's it. Yes.
Those are incredible.
Always Ready. It sounds like an and-one team. Kirk, my man, said here late. Hey, but thank you, Mr. Mercado, for the coin. Bro, thank you. Dude, Kirk, you were all over it, brother. And this is exactly why I say that this show is absolutely it might be under my name with the state of Tennessee, all right, from an IRS perspective, but it is all of our show together. And this is exactly why I say that, because Kirk, you were the one that was all over that game after game after game after game. And that's before the finals too, dude. So Kirk, my boy, hey, tip of the cap to you, bro. You absolutely crushed it, man, for all of us. So for everybody here, man, thank you. Justin, he nailed it right here. Hamburger got to be the best soccer name. That 100%. Justin's all over it. Oh, you had a question too. What league is this?
That was the Norwegian First Division, or Norway 1, which is the second tier or second flight of Norwegian football.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see real quick. B Mills, the Mark Grace slump buster. Matty boy, I gotta look up the Mark Grace. I'll look it up, but I'll tell you essentially what Mark Grace and the boys in Chicago did. Whenever you had a slump, the heavier she is, the quicker you get out of it. So there you go. Now, there were other slump busters. Jeremy Giambi used to wear a thong under his uniform, and he had to wear it till he got a hit.
That's an odd one. I don't know how he came up with that when the first decision was, but shout out originality.
Oh yeah. Hey, Jeremy Giambi, I don't know the man, but I believe that he had a lot of fun. He seemed like somebody that I would enjoy hanging out with. Jeremy Giambi seemed like he had a good time. And he got on base. Thank you, Moneyball. All right. Yeah. Z-Money said McConnell points, easy points, and assist, easy, PRA, easy, respective coin, all over the place. Hell yeah, Z-Money. You're on that too, boy. Yeah, big time. Now, speaking of soccer teams, Matty Ice said, I'm a big breast guy. Both at the strip club and KFC. Matty Ice is all over it. All right. You know what? None of these jokes would have made it on CBS. I would have been kicked off the air about 10 minutes ago. Greg, go ahead, let it rip, big dog. What you got?
It's hard to continue after that. We'll keep it simple. We are on the Red Sox today. Keeping it real simple. Bueller on the hill today. I will add as well, I was waiting for a better line. I do lean the D-backs as well today, but I am looking for that number to hopefully come down a little bit. I will say, throwing my 2 cents in the soccer world, Crystal Palace has to be my favorite name for a team.
Nice.
I enjoy. I'm not sure if I'm going to a rave, if I'm going to some ice sculpture, or if I'm going to a soccer game. So I enjoy my Ice Palace.
I like it, dude. I like it. All right, Red Sox money line. Now, we're going to talk about this, here in just a minute. The humidity dome in the United States is arriving today. And I'm serious about this. This is not a joke. Across the United States, weather-wise, okay, you are going to see crazy humidity across the board. And I'm telling you, crazy humidity, and it starts today. So this is going to be a wild week of Major League Baseball betting. I'm serious. And you're going to see it in the books. All right. Go ahead and take a look at the totals. You're already seeing it now. Like, it started with the Cubs and the wind and the humidity, and you saw totals that were like 12. You're going to see 10.5s, 11s, 11.5s. You're going to see those in your books, not only today, but through the week. And I'm serious, man. This humidity dome is real. It's absolutely real. Look, Randall Mims, it's 1,000,000 degrees in the warehouse already. Absolutely. Dude, and by the way, let me give a plug here real quick, all right, to Mims Lumber. Go by there and check out the shop. I'm serious. It is awesome. Randall has been busting his tail. Mims Lumber, look it up, Nolensville Pike. You'll see it. It has been awesome to see what this boy has been doing, man. Busting it, man. You know I love Randall to death. And, yeah, go check them out for sure, man. Mims Lumber. Yeah, best in the game, baby. Best in the game. All right, so Oh yeah, let me get my picks here. Braves and the Mets over 8.5. I think that both teams are going to put up runs in this one. Same thing with the Rangers and the Orioles. Now I'm a little worried with the Rangers because, dude, they can go Coastal Carolina on you, and I don't mean to make that joke, but they just can't get runs at times, man. It's just brutal, absolutely brutal. But I do think they'll be able to get it today. And I think the Orioles will too. So we're going to take the Rangers, Orioles over 9.5. We're going to take the Braves and the Mets over 8.5. Liddy, good morning, my friend. Good to see you, buddy. Christian said, congrats, OKC. Yeah, congrats, OKC, indeed. Tigers Rays series was crazy. Yes. All right, let's talk about this real quick, man. You got a question, Brad. When does the soccer match start?
That's at noon Central Time today in Norwegian football.
Noon. Would you say that again? I'm sorry.
Noon Central Time, 12 p.m. Central Time.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's talk about it. So first off, we got 2 championships to discuss. First off, the Thunder. Congrats to them. Win the NBA championship. They won the NBA Finals game last night. I forgot how much they won. I know that they covered. I think they won by like 13 or something. Handled their business, man. And first, I mean, Halliburton, dude, that broke my heart to see that, man. And if that's an Achilles, that's a bad injury, dude. That is brutal, man. It broke my heart to see it. Total competitor out there just banging on the damn floor. I thought that the Pacers played a hell of a game with no Halliburton basically the entire time. And he was, dude, he was on fire. Oh, my God. I mean, he hit 3 threes before he was out, and he was done in what, the first quarter? Like, Hallie was going to have a game too, man. It killed me to see it.
Especially because it's directly related to his injury, right? So, for those who are unfamiliar, those 2 things are connected, the Achilles and the calf. When you have a strained calf, there's a really good chance that you can just pop it by real quick, hard movement, just due to how hard that muscle is. So it's just really unfortunate. He was gutting it out, trying to play through it. Absolute stud. I got all the respect for Hallie.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And I agree with Dan Clark. If Hallie doesn't get hurt, the Pacers win that game.
Mm-hmm. Thunder didn't look that great, to be quite honest. They were bricking shots left and right. It just felt like they didn't have enough. Almost after halftime, it was like they came out and they were like, oh, we don't got Halliburton again.
Yeah, I mean, it was just too much. I mean, and it was weird too because it was like McConnell didn't shoot any threes. I mean, he was on fire too. I mean, he had 16 points, right? Mm-hmm. I agree, bro. Like, well, it's nuts. But I also don't want to take anything away from OKC. Like, I want to make sure, and because I hate when people do that, and they're like, oh, OKC, like no, they were pretty good too. You know what I mean? Like, they were pretty good too. But no, dude, like, if Hallie doesn't get hurt, I think the Pacers win that game. Greg, what did you think about Game 7 last night?
Yeah, I think that Indiana just unfortunately ran out of steam, and when you don't have a playmaker, ball handler, and distributor like Halliburton, you could just tell that the worst thing that could have happened was halftime to come and kind of everybody get reset. It was that momentum was with Indiana and stayed with Indiana. They did a good job in that first half, shooting the ball well. Did a really nice job defensively. They were all over OKC, and then you just sort of could feel the tides turning. A couple calls here and there that maybe go the other way or don't get called if it's in Indiana. But again, tip your cap to OKC. If anybody on the Pacers says, hey, we lost in Game 7 of the finals, and you just said, hey, take that for the year, I think anybody who's not just completely blind and arrogant, ignorant, whatever you want to call it, I think would be really happy with the year that the Pacers had. So, everybody thought that OKC was going to do it. And I think the hardest thing in sports is to do it when everyone expects you to win. Success is hard enough on its own, especially when there's pressure to not only win, but achieve at the highest level. So cheers to everybody on that team and everybody in that series. It was a really, really good year, a really good series, unexpected. And I mean, I'll bet ABC and everybody are very happy it went 7 games, because if that was a 4-game sweep versus the Pacers, it would have been bad for ratings and everybody involved. So I think there's a lot of gratitude around on all sides. But congrats to OKC. You can't take it away, like you said.
Yeah, can't at all, man. And dude, that franchise, the Thunder, they're set up so well. Like, let me also say this, because I heard a lot last night, on like the post game, and they were already like comparing the Thunder, to like the Warriors and like teams that's the thing that I said. I was like, look, I was like, let's calm down. All right, let's put some respect on the Warriors' name and what they've done, right? Like, easy, boys.
Somebody forgot Steph Curry in that time. I mean, man was ice cold during that stretch. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like Caitlin Clark firing it from 47 out. You know what I mean? Like, let's relax, dude. On all that, Joe, journalism is dead. AB, oh, bro. I'll tell you this. I have sat in newsrooms and worked in newsrooms, sports-wise, for 10 years. And I can dude, we could talk about this for hours and could do it from a sports perspective, could do it from, a news of politics, of general news, local, national. Journalism is it's dead for sure. And there are still some good ones out there, but they're not getting funded. And we could talk a lot about that. And that would actually be a fun live. Sorry, I was looking at the people are asphalting the road in front of my house, right? Like, it's a neighborhood and they're doing asphalt. So they've got like 90 trucks, and apologies if you can hear it, but like, it's been fun. I've been watching them all morning, dude. And like, I love it that you've got one guy out there busting his ass because it's, it's Nashville. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's already 117 degrees out here. There's one guy busting his ass. There's 3 people smoking cigs.
We call that supervising.
Union jobs, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, dude. I love it, man. I love it. All right. Stick it real quick before we get into Major League Baseball and weather and all that. Greg, stay with you. LSU, national champions, man. Take down Coastal Carolina. They win the series 2-0. They only used one relief pitcher all weekend. LSU absolutely dominated. And I don't say that disrespectfully to Coastal Carolina because, the scores were what? 1-0 and 5-3, right? Like, it's not like I'm not saying it as Coastal embarrassed themselves. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that LSU took advantage every moment that they had at the plate. They had runners on base. So we talked about it, man. We talked about it that in baseball, I swear to God, people can call me dumb. I swear to God, baseball comes down to what the hell do you do when you have runners on base? All right. No outs, 1 out. That's it. That's baseball. And you saw LSU. They came up first time in the game. They had runners on first and second, no outs. All right. Score 2 runs, get a hit. All right. Then move the runners over. All right. Get out. And then another hit. There's 4 runs. And that was the difference, man. That was the absolute difference. And if you put the bat on the ball, when you have runners on base, not saying that you have to, always get a hit. Just put the damn bat on the ball. Put it in play. Just don't strike out. It's the only thing you can't do. Just strike out. And that was the difference, man. Yeah, Tizzle. Let's say it together. If you swing the damn bat. Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times yesterday Coastal came up to the plate, dude, and was just watching. Now, let me also say this. LSU pitchers were dealing this weekend, man. Ailson and Cade, what? God, I just forgot his name. Anderson, is that right? God, I just forget his last name. They didn't even need a relief pitcher in game 1. They barely needed it in game 2. So, anyways, Greg, your thoughts, man? LSU, Coastal, national championship. What do you think?
Yeah, we thought that whoever won that side with Arkansas. I mean, you know, and hey, Arkansas turns that double play instead of going to third.
Oh my God.
Who knows where this conversation is? So, you know, a lot to it. However, you know, we had LSU as our final future at 8-1. So I was happy to see them come through. And, you know, it was an interesting series, to say the least. I think that it showed kind of what we talked about last week was LSU's ability to win low-scoring games, and with what they had, I mean, the best relief late in the game in the country, and you saw why. You've got a guy that comes in throwing 101 over and over and over and over again. And what I was most impressed by is LSU played kind of West Coast baseball. They had no problem with playing small ball, activating runners, and you know, making the routine plays. As we saw, that really is what changes things in these big games. You know, one mistake and you can really expose it. And I, like you said, it was impressive for LSU to play for the big inning by playing small ball and utilizing keeping the force off and continuing to put the pressure on the defense when you've got to go across the diamond, and you know, there's no easy outs. But you know, tip of the cap to Coastal. It's hard when you lose your head coach in the first inning like that. That was really disappointing to
see God.
The umpiring crew. I think that was a pretty cop-out move for what was an umpire crew that felt like they were overwhelmed by an LSU crowd. I felt like they got caught up in things pretty quickly. There was some pretty bad calls early in the strike zone or not in the strike zone, and you could see it tightened up after that. But I mean, too little, too late. You've got to privately talk to that guy, and you know, you've got to make it something, some kind of agreement. There's some understanding. You can't just, you know, hose the guy like that. And even if they won, they would have been gone today too. So I think they've got to adjust that rule as well with college. And I will say,
they're going to sit out the first game of next year.
Exactly. So yeah, so they'll miss that. And you know, I think the whole thing with the hit by pitch too, if the ball's in the batter's box, it's automatic hit by pitch. I think that just needs to be the rule at this point, because if you're sticking your elbow out to protect your rib because a curveball or fastball is coming at you, you know, why is that you being out? It's you. Why do you have the gear on if you're not going to use it to protect yourself? You know, I don't understand that. You know,
and not to interrupt you, like speaking on, you know, that umpire, MLB fired his ass for exactly that. Like, they've already fired him for this behavior. Right now, I'll give the ump credit. He did tell him multiple times, right? Stay there. Stop. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. But again,
yeah,
you can't throw him.
I will. I think that, you know, what I saw yesterday from a handicapping point was that, you know, you're looking at a guy who has a decent fastball. You know, when you say 95, it's funny to think about. We're talking about Coastal's side, but you know, his out pitch was a breaking ball and a cutter. And with the wind blowing directly against his cutter and his curveball yesterday, I had concerns for it, especially going against a guy with LSU who has more of a top to bottom curveball and somebody who relies on the fastball, you know, much more. And you can kind of see it come true. I mean, how many pitches did he throw that, you know, just didn't have that same kind of break point? And the wind, you know, when you're trying to throw a slider and the wind's pushing against it, it's hard to get much spin. And I think it did have a big effect. He was also affected with the pitch calm, and just, I hate pitch calm. I can't, I'm old school with that stuff. So get off my lawn, but
his pitch calm was messed up the whole time.
Well, why does that happen 3 times? Then he's got to, you know, look this. And then he was talking about the third base umpire who was calling out his pitches. And it was just like, there was a lot going on yesterday. And, you know, none of it was working well for Coastal.
No, I don't think anything. No, it wasn't. Hey, I'll tell you this. What I picked up on was the guy who had to step in and be the head coach afterward, right? So he goes over to third base, and I picked up on their indicator. I swear to God. All right. It was right leg swipe, ears. Okay. So what he would do is, I was watching because the camera kept putting it on him, and I was like, okay. And, you know, he would do the normal, you know, belt, all that. But I noticed every time they had a tip, right, to where he would go down the right leg. He'd go like that. And I picked up on their indicator, dude. And you would see as soon as he'd go right leg, ear, and then across or over or that or belt or whatever. Dude, every time they would do, they would do the helmet thing, but they would acknowledge that something was coming. And I was like, oh, he's about to steal. And Kyle Peterson, who was on the call, he saw it too. And he was talking about it. He was like, watch. He was like, as soon as the breaking ball comes, he's going to steal. Watch. And he did. And in my head, I was like, he saw it too. I was like, he saw it too, man. Oh, dude. But
if you don't practice that, if you don't practice calling signs, it's easy to pick them off all day because you fall into your own routines and you don't know what you're doing. Well, you used to sit there and I'd give signs all day. And meanwhile, my catcher would be calling his own game just to get in your own head. He'd be looking at me and going, okay, great. They go fastball, whatever, whatever this guy says. But the other team be so infatuated by trying to pick your signs off that you can just be giving nonsense to the catcher all day while he's giving a signal to the pitcher the whole time.
Yeah, that you don't even notice. I know.
Pre-pitch calm days. The pre-pitch calm days when I had to call by hand and call everything to the catcher and all that stuff. And it made the game more real then.
Oh, yeah. Coastal going to have wristbands next year, thanks to me. I know, right? Liddy said AB stealing signs. Like, dude, I would have been hitting that buzzer. I'd have been hitting it. Fastball. Oh, man. Dude, that was hilarious. All right, yeah, shout out to LSU, man. Congratulations. All right, let's get into Major League Baseball here. Let's play our favorite game, home runs. All right, Aaron Judge, plus 175. We're going to keep doing it. Ronald Acuna, plus 325. Paul Goldschmidt, the Yankees, plus 350. Pete Alonso, we're going to keep doing that one too, plus 375. And Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles at plus 400. All right. Bradley, you fired up for this one. Where are you going?
Give me the most valuable guy on here, Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldie.
350.
Goldie. All right. I like it, man. Greg, where are you going?
Give me Gunnar Henderson, like we talked about, weather, and a guy that can put it up in the air.
Gun show, baby. I like it. I like all five on here. I'm going to go Acuna, plus 325. I think Ronnie Boy set for a nice spot. I think it's going to be a solid day of hitting for the Braves and the Mets. Pete Alonso could get one too. Aaron Judge, let's just talk about weather. Like I said, okay, so drop in the chat who you are going with. Liddy's going Goldie. Big DC's going Acuna or Goldie. Zach's going Ronald Acuna. Big Tony's going Pete Alonso. Tizzle's going Cal Raleigh. He's on absolute fire. No one in baseball is hitting it. Well, there are a couple of them. But Cal Raleigh and Christian Yelich are on absolute friggin' tears, man. Absolute friggin' tears, dude. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, now let's get into weather. And like I said, the humidity dome, I'm not kidding. It's a real thing, and it is here for the week. All right, so pay attention to the books, pay attention to the numbers. You're going to see some pretty high totals here, but it's for an absolute bona fide reason. And I'll show you in the first one. Rangers and the Orioles. Look at this. Temperature, 101. Feels like 106. No rain. All right, wind, who cares? Doesn't matter. Tons of humidity here in Baltimore. It feels like 106. There you go. Braves and the Mets. Temperature, 89 degrees. Feels like 95 degrees. No rain. Wind blowing 8 miles an hour out. That is about 84% humidity right there. Massively humid day in New York. Pirates and the Brewers. Again, temperature 93. Feels like 93. No rain. Nothing really to worry about. Wind is still blowing a little sideways, man. It's blowing a little. Well, not a little. It's 14.5 miles an hour, but it's going right to left. Pretty similar to what we saw in Omaha in regards to the wind. Cubs and the Cardinals. Temperature, 96. Feels like 100. No rain. Most, what up, bro? Addison, what's up, baby? Wind speed, 7.5 miles an hour, blowing out to left field. Again, almost 90% humidity there, St. Louis. So, again, I didn't want to just put them all there. But yeah. I mean, you're going to see it all week, and it's going to get worse. Millsy, hey, B, I noticed this in the Cardinals game Saturday. It was extremely hot and humid there, and Sonny Gray only went 5 innings, even though he was dealing. Bingo. Another example why it takes all of us. Great freaking call. You're exactly right. Exactly right. Millsy, excellent observation there. So like I said, man, all right, you got humidity and you're going to deal with it. It's going to get worse through the week. All right, let's take a look at home runs here. All right, Scott Kingery on Walker Buehler. 2 hits, 4 at-bats, 2 home runs. Goldschmidt, 4 hits, 8 at-bats, 2 home runs. Cal Raleigh, all right, against Bailey Ober. 1 hit, 8 at-bats, home run. So you could say Ronald Acuna, he's got 1 on Blackburn. Juan Soto, he has 1 on Schwellenbach. Ian Happ, he's got 1. Mike Trout has 1. Ellie De La Cruz has 1. He's another good name for today. Adolis Garcia has 1. Travis Deneau, he has 1. Yeah, there you go, man. So got a lot of options here for home runs. Now let's flip it to hits. Okay, and you can see. Look at that. 7 hits, 15 at-bats. Luis Arias, 4 hits, 6 at-bats. And how we filtered this is by the most hits from a pitcher or from a hitter versus said pitcher starting today. Pete Alonso, he's got 4 hits, 11 at-bats off Schwellenbach. Cody Bellinger, 4 hits, 9 at-bats. And you can see the batting averages here on the right because sometimes, home runs, you'll see 2 home runs, but he only has 2 hits off of like 50 at-bats. So he's actually hitting terrible. You can see the averages here. Look at it. Belly hitting 444. Alonso, 364. J.P. Crawford, 364. Verdugo, 333. Paul Goldschmidt, 4 hits, 8 at-bats, 500. Marcus Semien, 3 hits, 7 at-bats, hit 429, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. Those are hits versus pitchers starting today. Hitting streaks. Yandy Diaz, 13 straight games. Josh Naylor, 11 straight games. Brandon Lowe, 11 straight games. Matt McClain, 10 straight games. Who else we got on here? Bobby Witt, 7 straight games. Chapman, 7 straight games. Look, Christian Yelich, 6 straight games. I'm telling you, this dude is absolutely drilling. Joey Ortiz, 6 straight games. Mickey Moniak, 6 straight games. And Eric Wagman down there with 6 straight games as well. Tizzle, decent weather in Chicago. Haven't looked yet. Yep. It is, man. It is. All right. Let's hit our picks again for anybody who may have came in just a bit later than when we started. Brad, start us off. What we got?
We're headed to that 12 p.m. Central Time. So coming up here in a few hours to Norwegian football, the second flight or Norwegian 1, Norway 1 in your books, in a matchup between Mjøndalen taking on Skaith over 2.75 on the Asian total at -135.
Talk about Mims Force 1. There we go, baby. Hold on 1 second. Liddy, he went to Westlake in Texas, or is that in Los Angeles? And Christian Yelich is absolutely a beast. Oh, dude, I completely agree. Greg, what are you on, boy?
We are on the Red Sox money line today, jumping on a Walker Buehler day over in Boston. I'm still actually on the West Coast here playing against the Angels. And then mentioned earlier, we are going to be adding the Diamondbacks later today.
Nice, man. Nice. I'm on the Braves Mets over 8.5. Also on the Rangers and Orioles over 9.5, -115. All right. Liddy and Tizzle, both of them said Southern California for Westlake for Thousand Oaks, Westlake. Okay, there we go. All right. So Thousand Oaks, Liddy. I believe didn't the Clausens play there? Weren't they from Thousand Oaks? I think so. Casey, let me tell you this. Casey Clausen, Rick Clausen, Jimmy Clausen. All right. So Jimmy Clausen obviously played at Notre Dame. Casey Clausen played at Tennessee, and Rick Clausen, the not spoken about as much brother, played at Tennessee as well. Casey Clausen, let me just go ahead and tell you this. I don't give a damn what anybody says. That was a tough son of a gun. And you know what? Dude started at Tennessee for multiple years. And you know how many times he lost to Georgia, Florida, and Alabama combined? 0. Man did not take L's. Casey Clausen is, I've met him a couple times. Great dude. That's a tough son of a gun. Also looks just like Iceman from Top Gun. Look it up. Looks just like him. It's hysterical. Yeah, dude. Casey Claus, a great dude. Absolutely. I haven't met Rick. I haven't met Jimmy, but Casey Claus, a great dude. But yeah, you said Thousand Oaks, and it reminded me of that. Hope Yelich wins the home run derby. There we go. There we go, man. Okay. What else do we have? Look at Melanie Sue. Good morning, Mels. Look at sweet Mels. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. The minister of culture here, driving the line. All right, Brad, you got a board behind you, and you got Norway on it. I know that you're big on Norway, the Nordic culture value. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and let it rip, man. What are we looking at on the board back there?
Yeah, Norwegian football has been fun all season in terms of the goal market. Right now, we're trending. It's another reason why we have a pick. We've had a pick last week. We're continuing to tail certain teams. Over the last 4 match weeks, there are 16 teams, 13 teams, 14 teams, 16, something like that, which means there's only a certain amount of matches per week because you can only have two teams play 1 match. But over the last 26 matches, both teams' score is hitting at 85%. So both teams are finding the net 85%, over 2.5. It's 21-5, 81%. Both teams trending, the league, both teams to score and over 2.5 trending above that 80% mark, which is really, really strong scoring. And then also when you're hitting that both teams to score, you trend the over 2.5. So one hits the other, and then also 3.5. It's trending at 80% of those 2.5. So it's like a step ladder, as I've mentioned before. If both teams to score comes in, it looks like over 2.5. Over 2.5 comes in, it looks like over 3.5. But real specifically, you've got these home teams and the away teams scoring at tremendous rates. We have 29 out of 32 home teams scoring 91%. We have 24 out of 26, 92% of the away team scoring. That is tremendous scoring potential. Both teams score. It looks like that over 2.5 should come in on the trending figures. You absolutely love to see that in Norway. But also, let's talk about the Club World Cup today, because Club World Cup is almost into that knockout stage. Today is the last match for Group A and Group B to pick up points, pick up results, and find out their final seeding. 2 teams in each group are going to be making it out to the knockout stage as first and second. 3 and 4 are going to be going home very early. And that's really important because these tables are very, very, very similar. You've got Palmeiras, Inter Milan, FC Porto, and Al Ahly, and they have only a couple points in between them. You have 2 teams at the top, 4-4, 2 teams at the bottom, 1-1. You're going to need to have those 2 teams, FC Porto and Al Ahly, win outright for any chance at all. And not just win outright by at least 1 to 2 goals, plus or minus, depending on the match with Inter Miami and Palmeiras. So both matches are going to affect the other one, which is exactly why all matches today are taking place at the same time. 2 at 2 o'clock, 2 at 8 o'clock, both Central Time. And then you got to look at this other match, Botafogo, PSG, Atletico Madrid, and Seattle South. Shout out Botafogo, but also shout out PSG. We have a future on them. We need them to advance. They're in a relatively good placement here in the group. PSG are now taking on Seattle Sounders today, second place, an eliminated Seattle Sounders team from the MLS. They are not that great of a team, struggling defensively. PSG +3 on the goal differential, which is above Botafogo, and they are at 3 points, where Botafogo's at 6. Botafogo at 6 points are now taking on Atletico Madrid, a much bigger, better, hungrier squad. These guys will want to come out and win. Maximum win by 1 goal doesn't do it for Atletico Madrid. They can win by 1 goal, and then they can still not advance behind Botafogo. So not only do they have to win by multiple goals, and or have win and have PSG lose by a goal differential, but that doesn't make any sense, or tie. PSG should be winning. They should be winning by multiple goals. I expect PSG to come out here and put up a 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 spot. This is a must win, and not just must win, must dominate, must bring the boys together, must score goals, must be consistent, and win. They have to win. Now, PSG being at +3 means that they need to win, and they also need to have Botafogo lose outright. If Botafogo ties at all, PSG move at second place, and Atletico Madrid can't gain that momentum. So you won't really see much of a tie toward the end of this game. You will see Botafogo sitting back and relaxed as long as they have some type of advantage on those other teams, whether it be a goal differential, whether it be the win-loss market. PSG, though, they're going to have to win, and they're going to have to pay attention to that other league. If Botafogo is up, no real hope. But if they are down, they have a shot at going on at first place in this group. And first place is absolutely crucial. You're going to be able to get a much better opportunity, as I've mentioned before, through that knockout stage. So expect Porto and Al Ahly to shell out. They must have 3 points. There is no other option. Expect Atletico Madrid to shell out. They have no other option other than to pick up points. PSG, the only way that they would be complacent is if Botafogo come out here, get an early lead. Atletico Madrid are just horrible. Comes to halftime, and for some reason, Botafogo is up by multiple goals and Atletico quit. That would be the only way that you see a complacent PSG. Otherwise, you're going to see some run and gun, must win to the end of the 90-minute mark. So today's matches, exciting, and there are narratives behind each individual match, which give you a bit of a clue onto exactly how those are going to play out.
Beautiful work, my man. Now, you said shell out, which reminded me. You ever go eat at Texas Roadhouse? Dude, where you going to eat the peanuts and you just throw the shells on the ground?
Logan's, Texas Roadhouse. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Dude, both of those are great options. Oh, I forgot to say, okay, great job, by the way. Man. Excellent job indeed. I forgot to say, so, what was it? University. Yeah, Greg, what up?
Question for Brad. Since today's a slow day and I might as well enjoy some soccer, what are your thoughts on the plus 290 draw in the Botafogo game, knowing that they have the goal situation?
I wouldn't. They can, by all intents and purposes, lose by 1 goal and still advance. And that's really, really crucial, given that they have 6 points and they're facing Atletico Madrid with 3 points, right? So they're even. If Atletico Madrid wins by 1 point, which is going to go to Botafogo +1, Atletico Madrid -1. That means Atletico can win by 1 or 2 goals, or sorry, just by 1 goal and not win. So Botafogo can lose by 1 goal and still advance in this group, whether it be first or second. Yes, they're going to want to go first. So a tie for Botafogo, tie or win, will put them at first. But one thing you got to know about football, when you don't need a result, you'll play complacent until you need that result. So I expect Botafogo to do the exact same type of scenario that they did to PSG. Sit in deep and look to counter only when necessary. If Atletico Madrid are having no success, expect all 11 players for Botafogo to be basically sitting in front of the goal, especially the later that match gets. It's absolutely crucial. And Botafogo is a very difficult team to break down. They have a lot of defensive midfielders, kind of like Alan, who is former of Everton. And if anybody knows Everton, that is their style of sit in front of the ball. So they have the players to be able to make this successful. Atletico Madrid have the attackers to push. But Simeone ball, Diego Simeone, the coach of Atletico Madrid, he's a bit of a bogey. You don't necessarily know what he's going to do. He could come out here in the first half and be very conservative and then completely change game plans at halftime. He could come out here and get 1 goal, sit in deep, and then look to push when there's an advantage. He doesn't always shell out as much as some of those other coaches, but it will happen at the end of the game if they are not better on the goal differential, not just the win-loss record, but the goal differential against Botafogo. The only way that match stays where it is if Atletico Madrid is winning and PSG is not. That could force Atletico Madrid to stay still, and they will be ahead of PSG. So if PSG is ahead, Atletico must push. And then the goal differential basically is going to tell you what's going to happen next in that game and who's going to push. Same thing in the other group. You're going to see Porto and Al Ahly shell out, and they have to pick up 1 and 2+ goals on the market. So today could be very, very exciting. There's not a lot to just sit there and relax on today other than the teams that are ahead. All the teams that are behind, look for those guys to advance as far as push forward advance and go for results. So Greg, I don't necessarily say I love the tie because there's an option of win and still lose or still win for Botafogo. So be careful. Certain scenarios are going to detect what happens and these results, right? So like not every result is the exact same. You can lose and move on. And that's just wild. So just be very, very careful. And that's why you'll see the lines as such. Atletico Madrid should win, but by how much? I don't know.
Fair answer. Fair answer indeed. Now, what I was going to say was this. Let me zoom in real quick on, you see the hat here? All right, you can see it. Solid looking hat. University Traditions. All right, I talked to them over the weekend, and they're big fans of DTL, and they go back with us all the way to CBS, right? Sportsline and Early Edge, just because I shop there, right? Like I love their hats, man, and I would always shout them out, and they, obviously enjoyed it, and not that it's like a paid deal, it's not at all. But I talked to them over the weekend, and dude, they were all about it. They were like, "Hey, give me your address. We're going to shoot you over a bunch of hats, like random teams and cities and schools and all that, and give them out." So we're going to have a bunch of all kinds of different awesome hats, man. I'm telling you, I love this company. Like they make some of the best hats out there. You see me wearing them all the time. So I sent them that information over, and they said, yeah, we're going to throw that in FedEx, man, and get that in the air and get it over your way. So as soon as we get them, dude, we're going to give every one of them out. And I'll line them up by like what school, what team, what city, because they make all kinds of them. And yeah, we'll make sure, that, if you're an Alabama fan, you don't get stuck with an Auburn hat, you know what I mean? But we'll lay them all out, and I'll figure out the games that we play. We're going to do so. We'll do something with humidity and MLB this week, but yeah, we'll line them up, make sure that, winners can choose the ones that they want and go from there. So shout out to them, man. University Traditions. They're absolutely awesome. Awesome, dude. They make a bunch of them. Yep. What up, bro? I think you're on mute.
Sorry, it is absolutely crucial that this Club World Cup, you need to know this goal differential because it's really going to affect it. That Atletico Madrid game specifically, right? So first tiebreaker is goal differential, right? So you got Atletico Madrid at 3 and 5 -2. You've got Botafogo at 3 and 1 +2. So if Atletico Madrid win by 2 goals, they're even on the goal differential. And that second tiebreaker is goals scored, which means Atletico Madrid would then advance. So if this match gets to 2-0, 3-1, 4-2, anything like that, at that exact moment, that's when Botafogo will then shell out if PSG are beating Seattle. So be very careful. This movement will only happen on very specific goals, goal differential, and amount of goals too. So Atletico Madrid, look for them to win by 2 goals minimum.
Beautiful. I absolutely love it, man. I love it. Great job. All right. We'll get out of here. Greg, any final thoughts, buddy, before we jump?
Yeah, no, new time of the year is here. It was a fun baseball season like we talked about. The dog days of summer are here, and that grind of Major League Baseball begins, but not a bad time for, if your name's not Brad, good time to get a little breather, take a break, give yourself a little chance to reset for football season. And otherwise it's been, a lot of fun, and we'll roll it right into the next quadrant of the year here as we get moving through 2025. But yeah, it's been fun, and we'll keep on moving and getting the best lines we can every day for you.
I love it. Yeah. And look, crawfish season is over. College baseball season is over. We're officially on to football now. And we're going to start doing some NFL stuff either next week or the weekend. Probably next week. Yeah. We're going to start setting up for NFL and college football. I've got some ideas that I think that'll work, because like I like talking ball this time of year, but it's also difficult because it's just like it's not real. You know what I mean? Like it's just not real. But what I want to do is set up for training camp and moving forward. And we'll talk futures for sure, right? And Liddy, 74 days away from the NFL. Yeah, I mean, it's not far. But, yeah, futures, absolutely. Oh, and Big Scott. Dude, good to see you, bro, in the chat. My man, Scott. Always good to see you, buddy. Okay, all right. I think that's it. Boys, great job. Did not mean to keep you an hour, but having fun. Dude, I love it, man. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Monday. We'll be live today at 3 p.m. Eastern for Driving the Nightline. But until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you later. Thanks.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!